Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating, what is this back injury? Is the back injury? Everybody's questioning it now. And this will be a third straight season where Angel Reese did not finish playing in game. I think Whitlock is onto something. I see other people talking about this. People talking about it all on Twitter.
Angel Reese just dropped a bombshell after quitting the Chicago Sky, and honestly, the team might be better off.
Vandersloot, their point guard early in the year.
Yeah, that was a big loss. Them losing Courtney Vandersloot was a big loss. They got Rachel Banham playing point guard. Kia Nurse, ill.
Everyone is talking about Angel Reese's back injury. But what I'm about to reveal suggests this is part of a much larger, more troubling pattern that the Chicago Sky may not want you to see. This isn't just about one injury. It's about a series of questionable disappearances that have followed her for years. In the next 6 minutes, you'll learn something about the team's performance without her that completely changes the narrative.
What is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of self.
The story being told is one of an unfortunate injury. But what if the reality is far more complicated? Fans and analysts are questioning everything. I'm going to expose 3 secrets hiding in plain sight. The shocking pattern of her injuries over the last 3 seasons, the statistical proof of how the Chicago Sky's offense changes without her, and the one game she conveniently missed that has everyone talking. By paragraph 8, you'll understand why some people believe the team is actually better off.
For being honest, maybe more reason why she's out right now might be secretly shopping her. They're not secretly shopping her. You don't fake back injuries. You don't fake back injuries. Run it from the grind, man.
You've been led to believe this is just bad luck. But the coincidences are piling up to an unbelievable degree. First, it was the mysterious wrist injury in 2023, announced with dramatic flair about preventing future arthritis. Now, in 2024, it's a back injury so vague that there's no official diagnosis, no timetable, and no clear moment it even happened. This should have been impossible. Yet here we are again.
Chicago Sky, you quit. You quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you no longer, you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlin Clark for that Rookie of the Year.
But here's what nobody talks about. The timing. These injuries always seem to surface at the most convenient moments, often right after a tough losing streak or a personal setback on the court. It's a pattern that's becoming too predictable to ignore. She's missing the biggest games, including the highly anticipated showdown with the Indiana Fever, a game hyped for weeks because of the Caitlin Clark rivalry.
Like, she is asking for a trade. Or she's at least implying she wants to be traded. Because at the end of the day, you just never know.
From a fan's perspective, this looks less like an injury and more like a recurring strategy. The supporters can call it a string of bad luck. But many viewers have seen this script play out before. When the going gets tough, a mysterious, season-altering injury appears out of nowhere. And that was just the beginning of the questions.
Everybody was on you shooting 28% on layups. Everybody's tearing you up on the internet. The all-star votes come out, and you saw Kiki Area Finn and all these other people in front of you and realized, oh, damn, it looked like I'm not going to make it. And then you turned up.
Let's talk about the controversial slump she was in before the All-Star break. The statistics suggest she was shooting a shocking 28% on layups. Let that sink in. Shots that are designed to be the easiest in basketball. It wasn't until the public criticism reached a boiling point and the All-Star votes looked grim that her performance suddenly and almost magically improved.
You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season.
This is where it gets disturbing. That sudden turnaround to secure an all-star spot has led many to question her motivations. Is this the mindset of a competitor focused on winning? Or is it the mindset of a marketer focused on protecting a brand? The evidence was hiding in plain sight for anyone willing to look past the official team statements.
Like, we've seen different tactics being used. Is Angel Reese trying to get traded, bro? Are you trying to get traded, Angel?
Now here is the reveal that changes everything. The Chicago Sky's on-court performance without Angel Reese has been a major topic of conversation. While their win-loss record might not jump off the page, commentators and fans have noted that the team often plays a more cohesive, fluid style of basketball when she's not on the floor. The ball moves, the offense flows, and players seem to cut with more purpose.
She just stopped. Some of these injuries, we saw the injuries. We didn't see what happened. What happened? This is bad.
This observation has fueled the addition by subtraction theory. When she's not there to demand the ball in the post, the offense becomes less predictable. Guards are free to run the system, wings can make hard cuts, and the floor spacing improves dramatically. It's a tough reality, but it's what many people watching these games are seeing with their own eyes.
Reese didn't even show up to the Indiana Fever game in Indiana. She's not even showing up to the away games anymore. She's not showing up at all. She's just not showing up.
And the numbers are brutal when you look at the head-to-head matchups. The Indiana Fever are 7-1 against the Sky in the last 2 years. One of those wins was a 22-point blowout where Caitlin Clark wasn't even playing. That's not just a loss, that's a statement. When role players are dismantling your team, it raises serious questions about the overall strategy.
It looks like Angel Reese wants out, y'all. Angel Reese seems to be looking for a way out of the dumpster fire that is the Chicago Sky. And I gotta be honest with you.
Let's break down this history of injuries because it's starting to sound like a bad rerun. In 2023, it was the wrist, which ended her season. There was no attempt to push through for the team. She was just gone. Fast forward to 2024 and a mysterious back injury pops up mid-season. The official line from the coaching staff is day-to-day, a vague term they've repeated for weeks, which has only fueled more speculation.
Remember, she quit in Unrivaled. She just stopped playing in Unrivaled. Said she was hurt, didn't show up for the championship game, didn't even show up and watch. Last season, she claimed her wrist was messed up, didn't finish playing in none of the games.
But here's the unexpected twist. Her back seemed perfectly fine during All-Star Weekend. She was on camera smiling, doing photo ops, and standing for hours without any apparent issue. Yet, when it's time to play in a regular season game, the back problem conveniently flares up. This has led viewers to wonder about the severity of the injury.
Playing games. Angel, where you at? Where are you at, Angel? This is nuts.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has been dealing with a documented groin injury. We all saw it happen. She's still traveling with her team, engaged on the bench, and supporting her teammates. That's the kind of leadership fans expect from a franchise player. Reese, on the other hand, didn't even show up for the away game in Indiana, a decision that has been heavily scrutinized.
There's no details. Every day we hear that Angel Reese is day to day.
Facts. Hey, Whitlock, take this pot. Keep cooking, stir the pot.
The perception is growing that these absences are designed to protect her stats and image. You can't have your numbers tank during a losing streak if you're not on the court. It's a strategy some have compared to Kawhi Leonard's load management, but at least with Kawhi, there's a long history of documented medical issues. Here, the lack of transparency is what's causing the backlash.
But I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit on the Chicago Sky. She's been claiming a back injury basically since the All-Star break.
Remember the All-Star push? Reese was ranked 13th in early voting. A serious blow for someone who brands herself as a face of the league. Suddenly she went on a tear, putting up huge numbers to lock in her spot. Once that selection was secured, however, the on-court urgency seemed to evaporate for many observers. This has led to more questions about her priorities.
So the Chicago Sky are an absolute, disaster right now. They're an absolute disaster. They are.
And what about that Indiana game snub? She reportedly had no problem traveling to the same city for All-Star festivities, where cameras and endorsements were plentiful. But when it came to facing her biggest rival on the court, her back was suddenly too injured for the trip. It's these kinds of decisions that have caused her image to take a hit.
Nothing. There's no information about Angel Reese. I think she's quit on this season.
Woo!
I think this is a worse version than Kawhi Leonard. I think she's used.
Ooh.
The reality is, her reputation is shifting. The narrative is no longer about a dominant force, but about a player whose brand seems to come before basketball. When your team's on-court chemistry arguably improves in your absence, that's the opposite of what a franchise player should provide. It's a career-defining red flag.
You gotta be, you have to have some level of self-awareness here. Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized.
Now we get to the trade rumors, which are swirling for a reason. There's a theory floating around that Reese might be sitting out to force a trade, similar to what other players have done in the past. However, some believe the Sky are playing the long game, possibly holding on to her until the 2026 draft to maximize her trade value.
A lot of people are making the point that it sounds like she wants out of Chicago. And look, I wouldn't blame her. I wouldn't blame her for wanting out of Chicago.
The idea of trading her for a top pick, potentially someone like Paige Buickers, has been discussed among analysts. If a team is desperate for a marketing boost, they might be willing to give up a significant asset. This entire situation has turned from a simple injury report into a complex game of chess involving her future and the future of the franchise. And here's the kicker that makes the whole injury narrative look even weaker. She's already proven this season. She can play at a high level when she chooses to. During a brief return from one of her absences, she dropped 20 points. She is clearly physically capable, which just makes the prolonged "I can't play" routine harder for many fans to accept. This brings us to the part that sums up her recent career. The transformation from the face of the Chicago Sky to a potential PR liability. 3 straight seasons have now been marked by untimely and mysterious injuries. This is no longer just bad luck. It's becoming a reputation. It's the worst kind of reputation to have in professional sports. The player who seems to disappear when the team needs them most. It's the reverse of being clutch. Fans are starting to call it the ghost gene. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next chapter in this unfolding saga of a franchise star and the art of the disappearing act.